My Secret Santa. My Secret Santa on Netflix. So I just watched it, so my memory fresh. I should remember most of what happened. I got my notes too. So, spoiler alert: the movie's about a lady. She gets fired from a job at a cookie company, and her daughter gets accepted to a ski academy, and she can't afford to put her daughter in the academy. And she finds out if you're an employee at the resort, the ski resort, then you get 50% off tuition. So she goes, gets a job as a Santa, and she hides that she's a female. And eventually they find out, she's a female, and uh, I don't know what happened. After that they just cut the movie off. I guess they could make a part two if they wanted to. It wasn't the type of movie where it's the full story. It was kind of silly. It's just a fun family Christmas movie. I wouldn't consider it a classic. Like a Home Alone or something like that. But it's just a fun movie for Christmas for the family. So at the beginning, it's this lady. She's working at the cookie company. It's called Klotz Cookie Co. And she's in the factory, and she finds a bad cookie, and she tells the lady, "This is a bad cookie." So she just goes through and picks, whatever bad. She's the manager, whatever. So right after she tells the lady it's a bad cookie, because she said the Santa looked depressed. The manager pulled her to the side, and this is unrelated to what she was telling the lady. And he told the lady, the orders are down. They're not selling that many cookies, so they fired her. Now, Miss Jacobson, that's her name, the lady. She's late on rent. She heard her daughter yelling. The lady came in the apartment to find out her daughter is accepted to the ski academy. So when she came back to her apartment, the apartment manager stopped her. It's like, your rent's late or whatever. And the lady heard her daughter yelling, so she ran in the apartment. And the apartment manager's like, "Oh, that's an excuse or whatever, to not talk to her or whatever." So that's when the lady went in and talked to her daughter, and she showed her, she was accepted to the ski academy. So now she got to figure out how to get some money for the rent and for the academy or whatever. So the lady, she goes to a used record store to sell some vinyl music, and her name's Taylor Jacobson in the movie, and she was a singer. So when she goes to sell the the vinyl, the guy that works at the record store, he tells her, oh, $100. And then another guy's in the store, he just overheard them talking, and he comes over and says, "Oh, you only gonna give her $100?" He's like, "This is a classic record." And then he looks at the cover, and then he looks at the lady, and he recognizes that the lady is a singer from the group. And he offered, he told the guy at the record store, you should give her more money. It's the record's a collector's edition or whatever. So then the record guy says, oh, he'll give her $150. So then the guy, he asks the record store guy, the guy that works at the record store, should he uh, get with the lady? And the guy tell him, yeah. So he leave the store. The lady left, took the money, whatever. And then the guy followed her and asked her, she want to go for hot chocolate? And she turned him down. So then the lady, she asked her brother for a loan, and the brother doesn't have enough to loan. It's another guy with her brother. I don't know if it's a gay couple or whatever, his friend or whatever they were. And the guy that's with the brother, he looks on the phone and he shows the lady that you can get 50% off tuition if you're an employee at the resort. And when the lady asked her brother for the loan, she didn't say how much it was in the movie. She just showed it on her phone, whatever, And he's like, "Oh, I ain't got enough for that, whatever." So the lady goes to the resort, and the guy at the front desk tells the lady it's no job opening, and then the lady, she hears a lady talking on the phone that it's a Santa position open because they just fired their Santa or whatever. Something happened that they didn't have a Santa for their holiday weekend or whatever. So the lady, she goes over to the lady on the phone, and she says, "Oh, I heard you talking. It's an opening." And the lady gives her a flyer. Says, "Yeah, it's for a Santa." So the lady goes and makes a fake Santa suit. Her brother helps her make a fake Santa suit to look like a guy, so with a beard and everything to cover her face, a fake face or whatever. And the resort owner, his son damaged some property, so the guy tells his son he has to work to pay off the the property, whatever the money he owes for the damages, whatever. So he hires his son as a general manager, and so after that, then the lady manager of the resort, she turns. They have like 4 or 5 Santas there, these old white guys or whatever, and she turns them down, tells them they can't work as a Santa. So then after they leave, the lady came in dressed as a Santa at the resort, and the guy that was at the record store, he's the general manager. So at first tells the Santa, like, he recognizes the Santa, even though he doesn't know it's a lady. He think it's a guy, but she she looks familiar to the guy, but she denies and says, "Oh, I'm Santa from North Pole, whatever." And then the guy asks the lady Santa her name, and she said it's Hugh Man, like Hugh, like Hugh, Hugh, and then Man. So she gave him a fake name, but once she got hired, she used um, her real social security number so her daughter could go to the school. And that's how silly the movie is, because if she's working there pretending to be a guy, but then she gave him her social security number, um, so her daughter could go to the school, you would think they would know that it's her that's working as a Santa. But I don't know. I guess whatever she did, I don't know how she did it. I guess she used a fake name and then used a real social security number, whatever. I don't know. They didn't explain it in the movie. It's a light-hearted movie, just kind of silly. So they hired the lady Santa on the spot because they need her to work that day or the next day. It's an urgent position they need to fill. So the guy, he hires her, and then he changes in front of her in the locker room. So he's in the locker room. He takes his pants off so the lady sees his dick or whatever, and she turns around, and he doesn't know that it's the female because she's dressed as a Santa. And in the movie, they don't show him naked. They just show like his chest or whatever. But you could see that he took his clothes off, and the lady just like turned around, not to look at him or whatever. So she saw him naked, whatever. And then the guy asked the lady to tie the tie. The lady Santa. When she's dressed as a Santa, I'll say Lady Santa, and when she's just a regular person, I'll say lady, because it's like she changes in and out the movie. One scene in the movie, she's a regular lady, and another scene she's dressed as Santa. So the lady Santa ties the tie, and she doesn't even tie the tie the right way. And when the lady Santa, when she was doing it in the locker room with the guy, she had a lip balm, and It was like a colorful purple lip balm. It's real distinct looking. And later on in the movie, the guy saw that the lady had that same lip balm, and he started to put two and two together that it was the same person, or he had suspicions or whatever. So the guy he presents his name Matthew Lane in the movie. So the guy he presents to Santa at the resort, and at this like gathering outside, and they got the Christmas trees lit up outside, it's snow and all that. So the lady Santa, she trips over the light plug, over the light plug, and the Christmas trees go out, and it's like it causes like the lights all go out or whatever, and so next scene the guy sees the lady with the daughter at the ski resort, um, and he offered her to buy hot chocolate, and she turns it down, and he remembers her from the record store, so he likes her, and he knows that she was a singer from the group, so he liked their music, so he liked the lady or whatever, even with her having a daughter or whatever. And I thought this was interesting too, because usually in movies you don't see white women playing single mothers, but that's just a little side note, whatever. So Santa, the next scene, Santa sits at the resort taking pictures and with the children, coming up to see Santa. So the girl, a little girl, hugs the lady Santa, and part of her costume comes apart because she has like a fake stomach to make her look fat. So the she had like some little beans or some pumpkin seeds in her stomach or whatever it was. So when the girl hugged her, the costumes ripped apart and the seeds started falling out. So the lady got up and went to change her costume or whatever. So next scene, the guy talks to the uh, lady Santa at the resort, at the cafe, at the restaurant, and they get a little personal. It's just a quick scene or whatever. I forget what they was talking about. Like the guy told the lady Santa he liked the lady and he didn't realize it was her. Because she's dressed as a Santa Claus, and the guy working at the cafe he handed them a drink, but he lit it on fire. So I guess it was, I don't know what kind of drink you call that, where you light it on fire or whatever. So the lady Santa grabs a drink and spills it on her beard, so her beard goes on fire. And the guy puts the fire out on her beard, and then she gets up and goes. So it's a real quirky movie, kind of just real silly, like and you could tell something's wrong. She's acting like the lady Santa's acting all awkward. So the next scene, the daughter tells the lady Santa she wanted her mother to get another husband or boyfriend or whatever. So she hasn't told anybody other than her brother that she's the lady Santa. So the next scene, the lady Santa, she's working at the resort at the Santa Claus, taking wishes or whatever, and a girl comes up with her mother, and the girl tells the lady Santa she wish she didn't stutter, and the lady Santa tells the girl singing helps with stuttering. So the lady Santa, she calls over the the guy she met at the record store, and he's the manager of the resort, and they sing with the girl, and they sing Jingle Bells. So people record it, and it goes viral on whatever social media, whatever. So that helped promote the resort, and then they sold out, booked all the rooms or whatever for the season or whatever. And next scene, the daughter tells the lady that the guy is hot, and she shouldn't have turned him down, she shouldn't have went out with coffee or whatever, you know. So next scene, and there was a lot more dialogue. I'm just giving like a brief overview or whatever. So the lady, she comes to resort and asks the guy for hot chocolate, and so they go out for hot chocolate with the guy, and the lady tells the guy she got pregnant in college, and the father left to go be a rock star or whatever he did, and she dropped out of college and to raise her daughter, and you know had struggled, job to job or whatever. So it wasn't really a date. They were just being cordial with each other. And so the next scene, the lady skis with the guy, and she falls and he catches her. So he asks her out on a date, and she says yes. So they go to some restaurant, and he sings a song, you know, whatever song he sings, and he come back to the table and sit down, talk to the lady, and then he noticed she uses the same lip balm as the lady Santa earlier. So he doesn't say anything. It's just really cheesy, you know, kind of silly or whatever. But um, then uh, the guy, the people working at the restaurant, they introduce her as a lady from the group that she sang from, the Screaming Kittens was the name of the group she was in. It was her and two guys, and she had purple hair at the time, and so she was like this wild rock star or whatever. And then she's upset. She don't go up there and sing. She start crying or whatever. So she leaves, and the guy, he follows after her. He grabs her purple lip balm, and he goes out to talk to her. Then she tells the guy she quit music to raise her daughter, single, single mother or whatever. And then she leaves, and he doesn't give her a ride home. She just leaves, and then so the next scene, the lady manager at the resort that told her about the job initially, um, that gave her the flyer in the beginning of the movie. The lady manager at the resort, she figures out that the lady Santa is a female, because she's acting all quirky and something's off. She could tell, so she called the HR and told them to give her all the information about the lady Santa. So that's how she knew about the social security number, and she looked up her name and saw it was a lady, not a guy, whatever. So next scene, the lady pays the rent to apartment manager, and the apartment manager tells the lady Santa is handsome, because she saw the lady Santa pull up to the apartment in the same van that the lady drives. So she asks the guy, the lady Santa, where's the lady at? And then the lady Santa told her, the apartment manager, that uh, she was her like her uncle or her father or whatever, something like that. So the apartment manager, she's like this old Asian lady, a black lady, or Jamaican. I don't know what she was, but she was like this dark skinned lady, brown skin or whatever. So the the apartment manager told the lady Santa, that he was handsome or she was handsome, that she could come up to her apartment with. So she was attracted to this, but she's just like an old white guy, right? So the lady, she's just attracted to old guys or whatever. So um, the next scene, the lady brings hot chocolate to the guy's office at the resort, and she apologizes for leaving the date or whatever. And the guy tells the lady to come to the party, and Santa's supposed to be at the party too, but the lady didn't know, because the guy, um, the manager at the resort, his father wanted him to, because Santa was, good for business, so he wanted Santa to come to their ball or whatever, to dinner, the dinner party or whatever. But the lady didn't know it yet. The guy didn't tell Santa yet, the lady Santa yet. So that's when she found out it was gonna be a party, and she told the guy she was gonna come to the party. So now she got to figure out how she's gonna come to the party and come as Santa too. So then the lady comes to the party with the guy first. She shows up with him, and then uh, she talks to the guy and meets her father and the lady manager. They're all at the resort talking. They're talking to each other, and the lady manager knows that the lady is Santa. She just hasn't said it yet. So they're just around talking, and then she says she has to go freshen up. So she leaves, go to the bathroom, change. And then she goes in the men's bathroom and changes into Santa. So she has her two brothers there, or her brother and the brother's friend, to help her change into Santa. And they got all the clothes in the bathroom stall, and the brother asked the lady, like, why didn't you get us a room? And the lady said, all the rooms are sold out, whatever. So she changes into Santa, and then comes back to the dinner party and talks with everybody for a few minutes, and then she goes back to the bathroom, changes back into her dress, and then she comes back out again as a regular lady, and talks to whoever, and then they say, oh, it's time for Santa to bring out presents. So then, she says she has to do whatever again. So she goes, and she's like real quirky or whatever. So she goes back to the bathroom, changes back to Santa again, and it's kind of obvious, like the lady manager at the resort, she already knew, but she just hasn't said anything yet. So she changed back to Santa, come back, start giving presents, and this time when she went to change, the guy she came to the dinner party with, he comes in the bathroom, and he could hear her in the stall getting dressed. So he sees her foot, and he sees it's like her foot. She got red foot polish. It's obvious. It looked like a female's foot, because most guys, especially not no old white guy, gonna be wearing no nail polish, unless they gay or whatever. So the guy asks if something was wrong, because it's a men's bathroom, so he's assuming it's Santa. And then the lady Santa says nothing's wrong. So the guy comes out the bathroom, then the lady Santa comes out after, and she's with her brother that was helping her get changed, and they kind of freeze up. And then the other guy that was with the brother, he was coming to the bathroom, and he saw the guy that was the manager, and he like stalled and turned around. It's just like real silly. And they they look like they're stunned or whatever. It's just real silly. And then so the lady Santa, she comes back to the party, she gets presents, and then that's when the lady manager confronts the lady Santa. She makes this big spectacle about it. It's kind of silly. Like, she could have just waited till after the party was over, but she like interrupted the party to say, oh, this is an imposter. This the lady Santa. This is not a guy or whatever. But she couldn't. She didn't have to say nothing, because she didn't say nothing initially. When the lady went to change and come back the first and second time, she waited to all that time till they get. But anyway, so the Santa's getting presents, and the lady says, "Oh, this Santa is an imposter." And then she told the lady Santa to tell everybody else who she really is, because she already knew that she was a lady, whatever, because she saw her picture and looked up the social security number, whatever. And then she told him that the lady Santa is using somebody else's social security number. So then, before the lady Santa explains her situation, somebody comes in to the party and says, uh, Taylor, her daughters got hurt because when she came to the party, she came there as a lady, as her as herself. So they knew she was there. So that some guy that worked the resort came in there and said, "Oh, her daughters got hurt." So she's dressed up as Santa, so goes out and runs to the ambulance to see her daughter. And then her daughter had talked to her before in the movie and didn't know that it was her mother. She just thought it was a guy Santa. So she's talking to her daughter in her normal voice. So the daughter says, "Oh, you sound like my mother," you know. So the lady takes off her fake face, a fake mask or whatever, and then she admits to the guy. All of them came outside. The guy and the manager, everybody followed her outside. So she tells him like, yeah, he tells her, the lady Santa, it's okay. She can go with their daughter, go with her daughter to the hospital, make sure she's okay, whatever. And the guy, he was cool with it. So the after all that happened, the father, the resort owner, he tells his son that he's fired, and then he tells the lady manager to hire another Santa or do whatever. So then the lady comes back home, and then the apartment manager tells the lady, she knows she's a real Santa because when she went out to the ambulance as the lady Santa, people was recording it, so it went viral on social media or whatever like that. And her daughter showed her mother, that she's famous or whatever, so or she went viral or whatever like that. So the next scene, the guy, he greets the guests at the resort concert, and uh, the lady apologizes to the guy at the concert. So the resort owner, he told the lady manager at the resort to host a get together for people at the resort, and she told the guy, his son, to come and give a speech or whatever to greet the people at the resort. And um, the guy's father, he came later. So the guy was up there talking, and the guy's father came and he asked the lady like, "Why is he here?" It's his son, but he's asking the manager, why he's there. And the manager told him, like he's giving a speech, whatever he's doing, greeting the people, whatever. And then the lady came and then she apologized to the guy in front of the people he was talking to or whatever. And the guy, the owner, he's just standing back and just watching everything, and the lady manager, whatever. So the lady, she came with her daughter. So technically, she didn't get rehired or whatever like that. It's just real lighthearted. And so it doesn't tell the full story in the movie. What it just leaves, it's kind of ambiguous or whatever. So after that, the lady, after she apologized, she sing a song with the guy, and they're out by the Christmas lights, and she just out singing with him. So the next scene, and this the last scene, the guy goes to the lady's apartment with his father for Christmas. So the lady goes next door and invites her apartment manager over to come over for Christmas dinner. And the lady, the apartment manager, at first she said, "Oh, rent's not due," and then the lady told her like, "No, I'm just come over for Christmas, for Christmas dinner or whatever." So the guy, um, he asked the lady like, "Oh, how did you get so good at Christmas?" They were just like flirting or whatever, and they kiss each other. And then the apartment manager, she sees the father, the guy's father, this old white guy, and she's kind of older too. The apartment manager lady, she's probably like in her 40s late 30s, 40s, something like that. And that guy, I guess he's like in his 50s or 60s. So they about in range of each other, whatever. But she sees him, so it's obvious she like old white guys, because she like the Santa, and then she see this guy, whatever. So um, she walk over to him and points to the mistletoe. You're supposed to kiss under the mistletoe or whatever. And then the lady saw it, and they just had just laughing, having a good time, drinking wine or champagne or whatever. And that's it. And then that's the end. So it's a real light-hearted movie, real playful. It's a family movie, or something for Christmas, just something light-hearted. That's it. That's it. So, My Secret Santa.